What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Prince, man, the one and only. And in today's video, I will be going over my top book recommendations, the books that you absolutely need in your library if you are going to grow in your personal development and really get your mind right in so many areas. Now, before I make this video, I want to throw out a couple of quick disclaimers, all right? The first one is that I can only speak on books that I've read, okay? This top 10 or however many books that I recommend to y'all today is going to be based off books that I have actually read. I will not recommend a book to y'all that I have not touched myself, that I have not read some pages through myself. That would be just wrong. It would just be inauthentic, and I would not do that to y'all. So first and foremost, I want y'all to understand there's plenty of great books out here. There will be a couple of honorable mentions at the end, so make sure you stay until the end to get those honorable mentions. Hold on. Excuse me. There will be some honorable mentions, so make sure you stay for those. But all the books I'm going to talk to y'all about today are books that I have personally read. I'm not going to say that I've read them all the way through, all of them, because some of them I haven't. But what I have read was extremely impactful, and hopefully it can impact you all too. Another disclaimer I want to give before we get into this video is that some of the books that I recommend to you, I don't have them physically right now. Throughout my personal development journey, I've given books away. I've let people borrow books and never got them back, but oh well. There's books that I've had 2-3 different copies and I just give them away. So there are going to be a couple of books on this list that I don't physically have in my possession right now, but I have read them. And third disclaimer, last but not least, is these are the books that I deem as some of the most impactful. I highly encourage everybody watching this video to go and explore different books and go see what authors you like and what topics that you connect with the most so that you can get the most out of the books that you read. Really connect with the author, learn whose material you like so that you can really get the most impact from these different books that you read. So we got a nice chunky stack of these. We're gonna say like, we got a nice, that's gonna be my thumbnail. We got a nice chunky stack of books here today. We're gonna go through some of these and I'll even kind of give you a quick little insight on some of the things in these books and we will go from there. So last but not least, let's get into this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you know somebody who's been looking to get into reading and figure out what books are best for them on their personal development journey, make sure you send them this video and tell them your boy Prince got you, because I'm here for y'all, all right? So first and foremost, now I'm gonna go through these lists, but these are not, I'm not giving these to you in any particular order. So they're not ranked from best to worst. These are just books that I feel like you need to have in your library. They're absolutely essential for your personal development journey. So let's start right here. This one is The Science of Getting Rich. It is by Wallace D. Wattles. I call this my money mindset Bible. This right here is one of those books that you can just open up to any page and get some fire from. Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. I'm about to just open this up. Boom, random page. Let me hit y'all with this. This is right here, all right? I open up to this page. Further use of the will. It says, you cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they be external or imaginary. Do not tell of your past troubles of a financial nature. If you have had them, do not think of them at all. What more do I gotta even give y'all? That was from a random page. So this is one of those ones, family. It's super fundamental. It'll really help you shift your mindset on money and how you need to think about wealth so that you can start operating with a wealthy mindset. Understand that poverty is of the mind. It is not of the pocket, and so is wealth. Wealth is of the mind and in the heart. It has nothing to do with what you monetarily have in your pocket. So just keep that in mind. But this is a great book. I also want to, because I hit you with a random page, I also want to hit y'all with a book. Well, not a book, but I want to go to the first paragraph of the first chapter of this book. I'm gonna hit y'all with this. Chapter 1, peep game, family. Chapter 1, the right to be rich, okay? It says, no cap, we're not capping. It says, whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. No man can rise to his greatest possible height in talent or soul development unless he has plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, he must have many things to use. and he cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them with. Now, in case that was a lot, in case I said a lot in that moment, that pretty much just means that unless you have money, you're not even going to be able to acquire all the tools and resources necessary for you to reach your greatest possible height and talent. For you to really develop as a person, for you to really live a complete life, you're going to need tools and resources. And if you ain't got no money, you cannot get these things. So don't be thinking like, oh, it's okay to not have no money. No, nigga, that shit is not okay. It's not okay. Don't be that guy. So that is book number 1, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Hopefully y'all can see that. Yeah, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Go and check that out. That's the first book. I got these in a stack, so we're just gonna go through the stack straight like that. The second book is The 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements. This is by Don Miguel Ruiz. This book right here is super fundamental. It really goes over some like fundamental and very simple, practical things that you can do to just live more of a life of peace and like keep a lot of that out of your mind. You know, this really is going to help you with not letting outside things affect the way that you feel internally. This book is very good at that. This is based off of Toltec wisdom. I love books that are based off some kind of ancient wisdom, and this is based off of Toltec wisdom. So this book is The 4 Agreements. If you open this book up, on the first, on just the cover, hold on, let me see. On just the cover, it goes through the first agreement and gives a summary of those. I just want to read those to you because I feel like they're absolutely fire. Okay, so the 4 agreements, right? Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Number 2, don't take anything personally. This is key, family. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Number 3, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. That's facts, family. And the last one, number 4, always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Family, if you didn't learn something from them 4, if you didn't catch a nugget from what I just gave you right there, don't even watch the rest of this video. You know, I would love for y'all to be here and support, watch the video. But if you didn't catch nothing, if none of that I just said was impactful to you, I don't even know why you're here. All right, so that's book number 2, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, Toltec Wisdom. Definitely go check this out. I have read this book probably about 4 or 5 times, and I'm halfway through it again. Wonderful book. Book number 3. Book number 3. As a matter of fact, for book number 3, I want to recommend a book that I actually do not have in my physical library at this moment. Book number 3 is going to be As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This book is so, I'm gonna put it right here. Put it right there. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Man, this book, honestly, is such a simple and clear read. You can get through with this book in a day. You can read this book in one day. And it really just further explains the power of what you think and what you're thinking is affecting you, your circumstances, and everything that happens in your life. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And it goes into that and breaks it down on so many levels. How you feel about yourself, how it affects your health, how it affects your finances, how it affects your relationships. All of these things are being impacted by how you think about yourself. It really gives you clarity on this, and it's a very simple read. It's something that anybody, whether you're an advanced reader or a beginning reader, can understand. So make sure you go check that out. Again, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. That is a very, very great book. That's the third book on my recommendation list. Number 4, a lot of y'all have heard of this one. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know if that's how you properly pronounce that author's name, but when you see this, fire. Let's read what it says on the back. To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. That's all it says on the back. You know, books be having all this information on the back. This all the back of this book say is to realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. That's powerful. That in itself is powerful. I really love this book because it's a fun read. Sometimes people have a hard time getting into personal development and getting into reading different books because it's not fun. Sometimes learning is not the most fun, but you got to stick through it. Me personally, I love learning. I think learning is fun. You know, hey, to each his own though. Some people don't have the most enjoyable time learning. They look at it like a task. I really love learning, but this book is a fun read. It's like you're reading a story because it is a story. The way this author does such a great job in actually using a story to teach you different lessons and teach you different things about changing your perspective and, you know, following your passions, right? Like it says, to realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. So in this book, the main character, he's going on this journey and he's learning these different lessons as he just is really open to following the dreams and passions that he wants in life. So again, this is a wonderful book. If you love a fun read, that you can also learn something from, this is a great book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That's a great one. This next book that I'm going to mention is also a very fun read. It is something that you will really enjoy. It's very simple. And I really like this book because it hits like every point and it doesn't spend too much time. It doesn't go too deep. It keeps it very simple. And that is, You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. This is by Jen Sincero. Man, on the back, I'm gonna read the back of it. It says, You Are a Badass is the self-help book for people who desperately want to improve their lives but don't want to get busted doing it. It says, identify and change self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors that stop you from getting what you want. Create a life you totally love and create it now. Make some damn money already, the kind you've never made before. At the end of You Are a Badass, you'll understand why you are how you are, how to love what you can't change, how to change what you don't love, and how to use the force to kick some serious ass. I like this book. I really love the way Jen Sincero wrote this book because it's very personable. Like, she's talking to you like you're a friend. It's not over your head. It's not super deep and analytical. It's very, very simple. And the book is broken down in all these like subjects and subcategories to where you can really understand what she's saying without things being too complicated. This is a great book. I think Jen Sincero did a great job. She has some other books that I've been meaning to put into my library. I haven't done it yet. But again, this book right here, You Are a Badass. Fantastic book. Shout out to that author. The next book is, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is book number 6 on my list of book recommendations. The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. Let me tell you, this was actually one of the first books I read in personal development. Shout out to my big cousin. He actually gave me this book along with a book called U Squared. He gave me that one too. He didn't give it to me. He gave it to my little brother. My little brother wasn't reading it, so I had to snatch that joint up off him. But this book right here is one of the first books in personal development I read, and it really goes over some fundamental principles in money and finances, and not just like finances as far as mindset, but actual practical practices for your money. So like, for example, chapter 3, the 7 cures for a lean purse. A lean purse meaning there ain't nothing in your wallet. Okay, so I really quickly just want to give you those 7 cures of a lean purse. Right? So I'm gonna go through here real quickly. The first cure: start thy purse to fattening, aka nigga, start making some money. All right. The second cure: control thy expenditures. Now I like it real quick. I like this book because it's written in these like very old Shakespearean terms. Like, mind you, this book is themed in Babylon, so they're talking like that. They're like, thou shall, hast, you know, yet thou do not all earn the same. All these Shakespearean terms. I really like when books are written like that. I think it makes it a very fun read to me. This also is a fun read. It tells a story while it's giving you the lesson. So, okay, let's start over. The first cure, start thy purse to fattening. The second cure, control thy expenditures, which means budget. Just budget your money. All right. The third cure, make thy gold multiply. Make your money multiply. Get your money to work for you. The fourth cure, guard thy treasures from loss. You got to protect your money. You got to protect your bag. You don't want to make the bag and then somebody just come snatch the bag up off you. Guard thy treasures from loss. The fifth cure, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. What is a dwelling? Where you sleep. Very simple. Real estate. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Bro, real estate. Simple as that. The sixth cure, ensure a future income. And the seventh cure, increase thy ability to earn. So once you start earning, you got to continue to increase your ability to earn. Man, just that right there, I was able to learn something just off those 7 cures to a lean purse. So, you know, and it's also says it on the back here. I wanted to open it up and give it to you, but it's also on the back here, right? Money is plentiful for those who understand the simple rules of its acquisition. This is a great book, Richest Man in Babylon by George Clayson. Please make sure you go check that one out as well, man. Hey, if so far you think these books have been some heaters, make sure again, drop a comment. If you've already read any of these books, drop a comment. Let me know which of these books you've already read, and like and subscribe so you don't miss out on no knowledge, no game. And maybe you will learn even more and more and more by coming on this journey with me, your boy Prince. All right. So the next book is gonna be Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Okay, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. This book is old as fuck. I love an old ass book. Look at the pages. Like, this book old as shit. I love books that are just old. Let's see when this book was published. Where's that? First printing, 1960. 1960, bro. This book is old as fuck. We talking about 80-year-old book or something like that. I don't know. I'm not thinking about math right now. Psycho-Cybernetics, a new way to get more out of life by Maxwell Maltz. So Maxwell Maltz, he was a plastic surgeon, and he came to understand that when he changed somebody's nose or changed somebody's ear or changed somebody's cheekbone, when he changed a person's appearance, a person's results in life would change because the way that they felt about themselves changed. So this whole book is about changing the way that you feel about yourself, changing your self-image. And he pretty much teaches that ultimately your self-image is going to control the results that you have in your life. So I like to read the table of contents just so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on in the book. Before I buy a book, I often read the table of contents, and the table of contents is also on the back. So we'll just read. Hold on, let me see if I can see that. So we'll just read the back real quick. Chapter 1, the self-image, your key to a better life. Chapter 2, discovering the success mechanism within you. Chapter 3, imagination, the first key to your success mechanism. Chapter 4, dehypnotize yourself from false beliefs. Chapter 5, how to utilize the power of rational thinking. Chapter 6, relax and let your success mechanism work for you. Chapter 7, you can acquire the habit of happiness. Chapter 8, ingredients of the success type personality and how to acquire them. Chapter 9, the failure mechanism, how to make it work for you instead of against you. Chapter 10, How to remove emotional scars and give yourself an emotional facelift. Chapter 11, how to unlock your real personality. Chapter 12, do-it-yourself tranquilizers that bring peace of mind. Chapter 13, how to turn crisis into a creative opportunity. Chapter 14, how to get that winning feeling. And chapter 15, more years of life and more life in your years. So I don't know if y'all was listening, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of those chapters started with how to. So this book is very practical. This book is full of techniques and practices that you can actually use to start to change the way that you think about yourself and change the way that you look at your situation. Some books are practical and some books are more principled, right? You need to be mindful of this when you start your personal development journey. Some books are practical. They will tell you how to do things, actual steps. And some books are principle based. They tell you the principle behind these things and you have to take that information and apply it yourself. All right. So that's the next book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Absolutely fantastic book. Please go pick this up. I think I picked this up for like $1. I got this book for $1. $1. You cannot beat a cheap book, man. The next book, another one of the first books I ever read when I got into my personal development journey, and that is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you look at this book, y'all peep this. My book has no spine. My book has no spine on it. I have had this book for a very long time. Last year in February, I got in a car accident. A lady swerved over. It hit my car head on. Bro. So she hit my car so hard that the spine of my whole book came off. I had my book in the back seat. I kept this book on me everywhere I went. I had this book in the back seat and the impact was so hard that the whole spine of my book came off, y'all. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the spine of your book coming off? Crazy. Absolutely nuts. So yeah, that's nuts. This book is more principled. Think and Grow Rich. This is one of the most well-known personal development books when it comes to your money mindset. This is one of the most best-selling books. On the back it says, anybody can wish for riches, and most people do, but only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. Let me read that again. Anybody can wish for riches, and most people do, but only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. Bro, you got to have a plan and a burning desire. That's key. Many people don't have a burning desire for what they want, and that's why they're never going to get it. All right. So I'm not going to read the table of contents of this one. I think you got everything you needed on the back of that. Hey, I'm going to say it one more time. A definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. I don't know if y'all noticed, but a couple of these books I recommended are talking about how you think about money. Money is important. You don't want to be broke. When you're broke, you're not happy. Let's keep it a bandicoot. Let's keep it $1.50. When you broke as fuck, you don't be happy. So a lot of these books are really about getting your mind right so you can start getting the wealth and living the life you want to live. Because guess what? It's 2025. It's going to be 2026. You know, you need some money to live out here. Simple as that. So that's the next book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The next book I want to recommend is another book that I don't currently have in my library right now. I have given multiple of these away. It is one of the #1 books that I recommend to people on a personal development journey. I'm gonna drop it right here. And that is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna go too deep on this book. The title says it all. The Power of Positive Thinking. Norman Vincent Peale is a great author. I really love a lot of his material. I have another book by Norman Vincent Peale. It's called Enthusiasm Makes the Difference. That is a great book as well. But The Power of Positive Thinking is his most profound piece of work. It's his most well-known piece of work. And let me tell y'all, family, it is a good piece of work. Really going into the effects of positive thinking and how well it can work for you. One of my favorite chapters in that book is titled Expect the Best and Get It. And that just simply states that a lot of what people get is what they expect. When you expect to fail, you usually end up failing. But when you expect the best, you start to attract the circumstances necessary for you to succeed. So The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, again, dropped it right here. Absolutely fantastic book. Go pick up a copy ASAPless, and pick up anything you can find by Norman Vincent Peale. Same thing with Napoleon Hill. Pick up anything you can find by Napoleon Hill. Very, very good. These are wonderful, wonderful authors. All right. Last but not least, before we get into our honorable mentions, remember that this video is not ranked in any kind of way. I just wanted to really give y'all a nice bite-sized chunk of what you can put in your library that will really start to get the gears rolling on your personal development journey. So, John C. Maxwell. John Maxwell, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. John Maxwell is a legend when it comes to teaching about leadership. He has sold over 1 million copies of this book, and he has another book that's called Developing the Leader Within You. Developing the Leader Within You is a fantastic book. The reason I chose the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership is because I like principle-based books. I like books that go over principles, and then you have to take those principles and apply it to your life. Developing the Leader Within You is a much more practical book. There's writing assignments in the book. There's practices for you to do. This one just lets you know, like, hey, these are the laws. You need to know these things. So I think this one is very good for just building your base of knowledge. And if you want to know what to do with this knowledge, I highly recommend also getting a copy of Developing the Leader Within You. So really quickly, I'm gonna just read through some of these laws. All right, you're not gonna learn everything you need to learn from this, but I just want to read through some of these laws, some of the ones that are my favorite in this book. Okay. Right, so you got number 2, the law of influence. The true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. Absolutely fire. Law number 9, the law of magnetism. Who you are is who you attract. Ooh, let that sink in. All right. The law of intuition. Leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. Law number 15, the law of victory. Leaders find a way for the team to win. The law of sacrifice. Law number 18, a leader must give up to go up. Law number 19, the law of timing. When to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. The law of legacy. Law number 21, the last one. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. Y'all, this right here is absolutely fire, especially if you are in business. Leadership is everything. Really, no matter what you do, you're going to have to learn leadership, and you're going to have to figure out how to apply leadership to your life. So that is the last book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Now that we have went over those, I want to go into my honorable mentions. All right, so I'm gonna go get, excuse me, I'm burping. I want to go into my honorable mentions. I'm gonna go get some water, and I will be right back. All right, family, we are back with our honorable mentions video. Man, really, my honorable mentions are going to be 2 categories, all right? And with these 2 recommendations, I really think you should tap in with everything in these umbrellas of material. The first one, I have one on me. I got the rest of them at the crib. I didn't bring those with me to actually show them to you and make this video because my honorable mentions are going to be pretty self-explanatory. So the first category is going to be Stoic philosophy, okay? For example, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. Man, you can learn so much from Stoic philosophy. Me personally, I believe the older the information, the better the information, because it's not watered down. Everything that we read today, all the information we have today, it's just a filtered version of something that came before it. All the knowledge that we have, it's always been here. Somebody's always been talking about it. And so I like to go back as far as possible to get the knowledge and get the information. Stoic philosophy. So Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is like, it was basically his journal. So these were the things he journaled about. My all-time favorite Meditations is it's in book 5. It's in book 5. Let me just share this with you. Book 5, Marcus Aurelius Meditations. It says, verse 1, book 5, verse 1. In the morning when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to the work of a human being. Why then am I dissatisfied if I am going to do the things for which I exist and for which I was brought into the world? Or have I been made for this, to lie in bed, clothes, and keep myself warm? But this is more pleasant. Dost thou exist then to take thy pleasure and not at all for action or exertion? Family, I ain't even going. You hear what he's saying? When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, he said, let this thought be present. I am rising to the work of a human being. So why am I dissatisfied for having to do the things for which I exist? Or was I made to just relax and no, bro. Now that first verse is this whole page, but I'm not gonna read all that. I just gave y'all the first couple sentences. So definitely you want to tap in with any Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. There's another book I have called The Odyssey by Homer. That's Stoic philosophy. And so yeah, anything Stoic philosophy, you want to start tapping in with that. You want to start getting some of these ancient, the Kabbalion principles. This is all like ancient philosophy. I'm gonna just, not even Stoic philosophy, let's just title it ancient philosophy. You want to go tap in with ancient philosophy. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, Kabbalion principles, the book of Enoch. You want to go and read these different things. The second category of honorable mentions that is ultimately, if you made it to the end of this video, shout out to you, because these honorable mentions are super duper important. And that is holy books. Holy books. I'm talking about every book that is the foundation of all of our major religions, which is the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah. Those are my big three: the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah. You want to read all these books. If you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Jewish, it does not matter. You want to get all the knowledge from all these holy books. There is a reason that millions and millions and billions of people subscribe to these books, because they are full of powerful, enlightening, and relatable information that you can apply to every area of your life. Okay, so those are my honorable mentions: ancient philosophy and holy material. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more knowledge, more information, more mindset, more motivation. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I look forward to giving y'all some game, giving y'all some wisdom, and giving y'all some tools and resources that you need to level up your mindset and take your perspective to the next level so you can succeed, man. Again, thank y'all very much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on nothing. It's your boy Prince, and we're gonna make sure that we read these books so that we are evolving our royal mindset, man. You want to get your paper up. When I tell you get your paper up, I ain't talking about no money. I'm talking about these books, family. Let's get to it. I love y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.